everybody. I'm Andrew.
I'm Alan.
I'm Tarun.
And we are the VoIP case management team sponsored by DataCare. To begin with, a very wise man once told me that the best way to impress your girlfriend is to create an application designed to optimize the workflow at her insurance agency. And in the spirit of that, we'd like to dedicate this project to our girlfriends. They're very dear to my heart. I see mine every night, or I would if she were real.
I would see mine like every other weekend if she was real.
Now then, let's talk about medical insurance, specifically workers' compensation insurance. It is a very complex process. Normally, a hospital will assign someone called a case nurse to be in charge of managing an insurance case, acting as the intermediary of communication between all the related parties, the lawyer, the claimants, the doctors, etc., as well as being the one in charge of making sure the bureaucratic process is completed correctly. Additionally, case nurses usually handle multiple cases at once, and sometimes with overlapping people. You can see in this example, this doctor and this lawyer are both in multiple cases handled by this same case nurse. The doctor is in both the blue and the green case. The question is, how can our application help ease the workflow of these case nurses? Well, we've come up with 3 answers to that question. First, we have to make sure we have to help them manage multiple cases at once. Second, we need to make sure they have quick and easy access to case information. And finally, we need to enable call handling directly from the internet browser.
So as mentioned earlier in our project name, we're using VoIP or Voice over Internet Protocol. This service is going to be handled by a third party called Twilio. How Twilio works is that it receives a call. The call then gets forwarded towards our web app, and the user, in this case the case nurse, will respond to it on the web app, and Twilio then handles that request. Our web app is made on a LAMP stack, which is Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. We also used HTML and CSS for our front end, as well as JavaScript and PHP for our back end. And as mentioned earlier, we're using Twilio for our VoIP features.
Now, in execution, our software accomplishes its goal through 3 major steps. The first is call handling, making sure a phone call from a cell phone is routed directly to the client's internet browser. Second is something we call case prediction, where when an incoming call is detected, the server will automatically predict which case that call is most likely associated with, if any. And third, case information. When a case is predicted, information on that case should automatically be pulled up and displayed to the user, either to help them decide whether to pick up or for reference during the call itself. I'll now walk you through the execution process in detail. First, a professional, lawyer, claimant, doctor, etc., makes an incoming call to a phone number registered with Twilio. Twilio then makes a request to our host server asking for instructions on how to respond to the call. Next, the host server runs the case prediction algorithm, taking the caller number and deciding an associated case based off that. Now, as a quick aside, the case prediction algorithm functions by first pulling the phone number of the caller from the request Twilio made in step 2. The server then matches this number to a contact in the contact book stored in the server database, and then retrieves all case profiles in which that contact is involved in, and then selects one to be the most likely associated case based on which one is marked as open and most recently interacted with. Next, the server sends a push notification to the user, notifying them both of an incoming call and which case is predicted to be associated with. The user then decides whether to accept or decline, and the host server forwards that response to Twilio, who then executes those instructions. I will now provide a live demo. Give me a second. There we are. Here you can see the homepage of the website. User inputted case profiles are listed here, and the information on them is able to be opened and is openable and viewable. Currently, only in this iteration of the project, only a limited amount of information is stored in each case profile, but future iterations will support much more. And the same is true of user inputted contacts. I will now display the main feature, the VoIP features of the application. I'm going to pull out my cell phone. I'm going to make a call to the registered phone number. As you can see, the push notification was sent notifying of the user of an incoming call, and the predicted case was Limi June 12th, this case. This information on this case was automatically pulled up, helping me to decide if I should accept or not. I'll go ahead and accept. And it's rather hard to tell over live stream, but there is actually a VoIP connection between my cell phone and the internet browser. You can see the microphone is active right here on Firefox. In addition, the software supports taking voicemail. I will now make another call to the server and let this one fall through to voicemail. So it'll take a little bit, unfortunately. So while we're waiting, I can go ahead and display some of the other features. Displays on the web page. You can see here voicemail. Voicemail is accessible. A log of voicemails is accessible to the user, in addition to a overall call log and a expanded list of user inputted case profiles and contact books. In addition, the server supports voicemail transcription, where when a voicemail is left by a caller, a text transcription will be created by Twilio and forwarded to the server. I'll leave a message now. Hi there, this is Andrew from CSE 115C. Now, if we leave a moment for the server to process that voicemail, you can see the voicemail I just made is listed here, and the transcription is still processing. We'll wait a moment for that. There we are. I can go ahead and open the transcription to see a speech-to-text transcription of my voicemail. And I won't claim it's a very good transcription, but it's functional. Moving on with the presentation.
So the challenges and constraints that we faced were a tremendous impact, and they provided as a bigger challenge for the team. We were unfamiliar with the project technologies. We were coding with PHP, HTML, and CSS, and we needed to look up more on that, how we can make it better and how we can code much more efficiently. We had to learn Twilio's API in order for it to connect with other technologies. The team was an original group of 4, but one team member dropped out, and so the workload between us was really hard. And but it provided like a bigger obstacle for us. The university firewall that was blocking the development server also provided us a bigger hassle for us to make the VoIP phone calls. The TA strikes, blocking access to campus, also provided an obstacle, as well as the lockdown before COVID-19. So VoIP case management was a prototype designed by DataCare, which was actually marketed towards insurance agents as well as nurses. The team overall considers this project as an overall success aspect because we followed the goals highlighted in the sprint plan, and it serves as a viable example as DataCare has imagined it to be. In the future, if we had more time, the team would have added these features such as a more efficient algorithm, like additional of VoIP features as putting callers on hold and voice to text notes transcription. The team will actually give a special thanks to Paulo Franco and Chris Wan, both the workers at DataCare. Without them, this project wouldn't have been where it would have been. I'd like to also Richard Julig, our professor, for his kindness and how he was with us for the entire quarter, and our TA Golem Muqtadir, who we met once every week to see how how our progress was in check.
And that concludes the presentation. Thank everyone for listening. If you have any questions, feel free to approach us during our poster session. And we ask you to remember, you're breathtaking.
Yes, you're right, Andrew. I do have a question for you, actually. Can you elaborate a little bit on what would a more robust prediction algorithm look like? Or what have you thought about this?
Yes, the first idea the team wanted to implement but could not find a time to do so in a quarter was adding a sort of interacted with counter to each case profile that will keep track of how frequently the client, the user interacts with each case. This would factor in as sort of priority setting when the case of prediction algorithm runs.
Okay, very good. All right, thank you.